Brazil on BRICS, global trade, and the future of cooperation. Let me speak directly to the American people. Brazil's leadership in BRICS is not about confrontation, it is not about pressure politics, and it is certainly not about creating division in the world. It is about representation. For decades, many countries from what we call the Global South, nations in Latin America, Africa, and parts of Asia, felt that their voices were not fully heard in global decision-making. BRICS gives those countries a seat at the table. It allows emerging economies to show their face to the world and participate more actively in shaping international trade and finance. This is something new. The new development bank created by BRICS countries is new. The level of cooperation we are building is new, and whenever something new emerges in global politics, it naturally creates questions, especially in Washington. I understand that the United States may feel uneasy about BRICS, but let me be clear, this is not about starting a new Cold War. The world does not need another Cold War. What we need is cooperation, stability, and balance. BRICS is not an anti-American project, it is a pro-development project. Our goal is to strengthen our economies and create a more balanced global system. In fact, I envision a future where groups like BRICS and the G7 evolve into something more unified. Perhaps one day a larger global forum, maybe a G20+, where major economies work together instead of meeting separately. We don't need endless divisions and separate blocks. We need efficiency, dialogue, and fairness. Let me also address a common misunderstanding. BRICS is not creating a new currency to replace the US dollar. No one is proposing that. What we are discussing is something practical and simple. When Brazil trades with India, must we use the dollar, or could we use our own currencies? When Brazil trades with China, is it necessary to use the dollar, or can we settle trade in reais and yuan? This is a technical conversation between finance ministers and central banks. It is about reducing transaction costs, increasing flexibility, and making trade easier, especially for developing countries that are often vulnerable to currency fluctuations. This discussion is not an attack on the United States. The dollar will remain an important global currency, but in a multipolar world, it is reasonable for countries to explore additional options. I do not expect the United States to immediately support every BRICS initiative. That is natural. But instead of suspicion, let us have debate. Instead of rivalry, let us have dialogue. The objective is fairness, a trading system that penalizes fewer countries and gives smaller economies more room to grow. BRICS is simply a path toward greater geopolitical balance on our planet. Balance does not weaken the United States. A more stable and equitable world strengthens everyone. The future should not be about blocs confronting one another. It should be about cooperation between equals. That is Brazil's position.